So you have your pages with text, but it still doesn't look all that fantastic. For one, you're really not taking advantage of the page and the layout the way that I described in my previous class. To fix that, what we need to do is set up the way the text is on the page. This is different, this is separate than setting up the text itself. Setting up the text itself, as I mentioned, is done through paragraph styles and character styles. But setting up the margins and setting up page numbers, how your page is set up, this is going to be done through what's called masters. So if you go into pages, you'll notice that pages are actually divided into two spaces here. There's none, which means it's just a blank page with nothing on it. And then there's one called a master, which is this spread over here. You can also create more. So if you create a new master, it's going to be called B master, and then it's going to be called C master, etc. So what I want you to do is double click on a master, and this is where it gets really confusing. If you just click once, right, so let's say I click once on a master, I'm still on this page. I'm still on page 2. I don't want to be on page 2. I want to be on page A master. So if you double click on it, it's going to highlight A master, and everything that's on page 2 is just going to disappear because this is a template. This is not the actual page itself. It's a template. All right. The big important thing to remember is whatever you put in the master is going to appear on the page. I'm going to say that again. Whatever you put in the master is going to appear on the page. So you want to make sure to have stuff on your master that's useful. So one thing you can put in your master is margins. So to do that, you can just pull them out from the sides like this, just drag them out and put them wherever you want. You can move them at will. You can put more, you can take them out. You can do whatever you want with them, right? So you can put lots of different ones if you want. So I'm going to put these on this side, and I'm going to put some on this side as well. Obviously you want them to match, so be careful with that, but right now I'm just going to eyeball it because I want to move on a little bit faster than that. Alrighty, and we're going to create one more margin over here. That's fine. So now we've got a bunch of margins. What I'm going to do is go back to page number 2, and then I'm going to drag the A master. I'm going to apply the A master to page number 2. And I'm going to drag the master to page number 3. And you'll notice that those margins appear. If I drag none on top, those margins are going to disappear. So what I'm doing is I'm applying the master to this space. Now the advantage to that is that now what I can do is select those text boxes, and they're going to like align with the margins very easily. They're going to want to like click to them, if that makes sense, right? Can you see that? Whoop. I'm going to do the same thing on this page. And this shows you how helpful it is to figure out the layout and then to make sure that the layout is exactly the same on every single page because you're applying that master to every single page. All right? But again, if you don't want that master for any reason, you just take the none and drag it back on, and now it's gone. If you want to put it back, you can put it back. So this is useful for more than just margins though. So another thing you can do here, so double click on a master again until everything else disappears, is you can add things like page numbers. So you would add a text box. Let's say we're going to add it at the top, and we're going to put in page, and then you would click type, special character, current page number. Okay, so I'm going to stay on that for a second so you can see it where it is, then hit OK. And you're going to notice it says page A because we are on A master. Okay, so that's the text right here. I want it to be aligned with the column. All right, oops. Come on. And let's say I also want it to say CRS report. It doesn't matter. And then on the other side, I'm going to do the same thing. And in fact, I can just copy and paste if I want. The only thing is I want it to be justified in the other direction. So I would have to create a new character style here, although here I'm doing it really quickly. Please don't do this in real life, but I'm just going to do it here just because it's faster. All right. So now got page A CRS report, page A CRS report. Actually, let's do it so that it does it like this. That looks nicer, nice and symmetrical. All right, so now if I go back to my page 2, it says page 2 CRS report. And then on page 3, it says page 3 CRS report. Because again, it knows to look for the page number and know which page it is. So let's say you even inserted another page in between, right? Let's say I insert another set of pages in front here. Okay, well now this is page 4, so you don't have to update that. InDesign is going to know that for you. So this is where you're going to want to add things like your page number, if you have lines or any kind of frames that you want for your report. This is where you're going to want to put them is in your master. As I mentioned, you can create multiple masters. So for instance, maybe the first page of each chapter is a different master. Or let's say you have a map and the map is huge. You want your map to be big. You don't want to put the page number. You don't want to waste that space. You can just say, you know what? I don't want a master on here. Just leave it blank. And you can do that. So again, you can change those at will. So those are the masters. I want to remind you, don't write any actual content in the master because it will appear on every single page thereafter that you select with that master. So when you want to actually put in text, you do that in the pages, not in the master. Okay? So make sure that they're double clicked properly. It's really easy to kind of get lost with that. All right. I'm going to take another break and then I'm going to teach you how to do the last bits of this, which are more layout issues with illustrations and then saving this document so that you don't lose any important data. Before I do that though, I want to emphasize, do not use this piece of software as a word processor. Yes, you can change text in here, but don't change text in here. When you get data, anything from your teammates, you should ask them to give you straight up text, simple text with no extra space between paragraphs, no extra any formatting at all. Because if there's an extra space between those paragraphs, right, it's not going to go away on its own. You have to then go in and take it out. Otherwise, the spacing is going to be all messed up. So bear that in mind. You should really do all of your formatting in InDesign, but only your formatting in InDesign. All right, I will see you for the last tutorial after this break.